Hi, my name is Pastor Russell Mullenberg, and this is Eat This Word, a weekly program where I serve up bite-sized bits of Bible. The bite-sized bit of Bible we're looking at, this will be week 2 of 3 weeks, is Mark 10:45. Here at the beginning of 2022, we're asking the question, who is this? Who is Jesus? And this verse is the purpose statement, it's the mission statement from the Gospel of Mark, where Jesus explains why he came. So it says this, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." So last week we focused on the first half of the verse, that statement that Jesus came to serve. And we're reminded that Jesus, even though he is the Son of Man, even though he commands angels and he deserves the praise of nations, that Jesus did not come primarily to be served, to recruit us to his side as much as he came to serve us, to help us. And so now, this week we'll look at the second half of the verse and we'll talk about how he did that. How did Jesus serve us? The key word here probably is the word ransom. Jesus came to give his life as a ransom for many. Now, I think we might struggle a little with the meaning of that word ransom. Those of us who live in the modern world, we tend to associate ransom with kidnapping. If someone has taken your child and they're holding that child hostage and they want to receive that child or that person back in exchange for a money, cash payment, and so the ransom has to be paid so you can get your loved one safely back. And so we have this idea that when Jesus gives his life as a ransom, that somehow he's sort of paying someone who is holding us hostage to buy us back. And well, who would that be? And so I think we often think that Jesus, when he died on the cross, somehow he was paying a ransom to Satan. That we were being held hostage by Satan, the devil, and that in order to get us back, Jesus sort of had to pay him off and get him back. But I want you to understand that the translation of the word ransom, it's a good translation here, but it's not talking about that modern concept of kidnapping. It's talking about something else. And there's a couple of problems with the whole ransom payment to Satan sort of notion. One is I think it just gives way too much credit to the devil, as though he were the one that's holding us hostage, that he's the one to whom we are committed, and that somehow Jesus and God have to come up with some sort of way of paying off the devil, which I think gives him too much credit. There's also something that maybe makes our salvation seem not quite right. When we watch movies about kidnapping, of course, whenever they pay the ransom, we always sort of feel like the kidnapper has won. And of course, that we don't want the idea that Satan has somehow won, that he forced God's hand, and so Jesus had to die to pay the devil off. And more than that, I think the ransom that's being talked about, it's something that's not owed to Satan as much as somewhere else. And so the word ransom, when it's used in the Bible, has less to do with that concept of kidnapping, more to do with debt payment. The redemption is another good word here. This idea that in the ancient world, when someone owed a lot of money, they would often use themselves as collateral. Slavery in the Old Testament was less about ethnic slavery or the color of your skin, and it was more about debt slavery. When you became indebted to someone else, sometimes the only option was sort of to sell yourself into servitude to that person until the debt could be paid. And so Leviticus 25 sort of describes that. If a foreigner residing among you becomes rich and any of your fellow Israelites become poor and sell themselves to the foreigner or to a member of the foreigner's clan, they have the right of redemption. After they've sold themselves, one of their relatives may redeem them. And so that phrase, right of redemption, when this Old Testament passage got translated into Greek, it was the same root word that Jesus is using when he talks about ransom. And so the idea is when someone finds themselves indebted to someone and cannot get their way out, they may enslave themselves, but they can always redeem themselves. Or more importantly, one of their relatives, someone else may pay the ransom on their behalf. So go to the last two words of the verse, for many. The preposition there, translated for, It implies that Jesus has done this for us. He's done this as a gift to us. But in the original Greek, that preposition can also mean in place of or as a substitute. So really Jesus is saying he came to give his ransom in place of us, or in place of the many. And so this verse, when Jesus describes his purpose in coming to earth, is inescapably tied to his upcoming death and what he's going to do on the cross and how Jesus sees it. Not just as a tragic outworking of people out to get him, but as a very intentional gift, on a payment he is making in place of us so that our debts can be canceled, our debts can be paid. The question then is, are you among the many? Are you among the many who put your faith and trust in what Jesus has done for us, for you, so that your debt to the Heavenly Father could be canceled and paid in full, so that Jesus could serve you by saving you? Thank you so much for watching this video. You can help support us by liking it and sharing it on Facebook, directing others to the YouTube link, and also through your financial gifts. If you'd like to learn more about Eat This Word, we have a website at eatthisword.com. And if you would like to make a small financial gift in support of us, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/eatthisword.